Hey y'all, my name is Quintara. I am a board certified behavior analyst. I am a presenter. I am an author. I am a conference speaker. I am here today to enlighten you on some inside tips and some inside scoop on attending these ABA or behavior analytic conferences. It's Sunday. It is, I don't know what day, I don't know the date. Sunday, May 19th. We are about 2 weeks post NJABA and 1 week before ABAI. Because it's conference season, I really wanted to do a quick video that presents you all with some conference attending tips if you're going to be attending any conferences this summer and into the fall. But before I do that, check out the fresh knotless braids. Okay, this will be my conference look. So I wanted to get fresh braids about a week before ABAI. That way they're kind of, I don't know, they're not as tight. I could pull it back if I need to, etc. But that's off topic. That's not the point. So on my handy dandy iPad here, I have some conference attending tips for you all. But of course, like every single one of my Apple devices, my iPad is dead. Fun fact about me, I don't charge pretty much anything until I absolutely need to. And this is one of those times where I absolutely need to charge it. So it's plugged in and we're going to get started. By now, we all know that you cannot just show up to a conference. You actually have to pre-register, and if you're lucky, you'll catch early bird registration, which is typically a huge discounted rate. So if you're interested in attending any conferences coming up, please keep an eye out for early bird registration. If not, the price tends to increase every few weeks or so. My first tip, upon arrival at the conference, right? You want to know if you're staying at a hotel, you want to know which hotel it is, you want to know where the hotel is in respects to the conference venue. Most conferences are kind of smart and they host or hold the conference actually in a hotel. So in many cases, you probably will stay in the same building that the conference is being hosted in. I also needed some Carmex too, because I'm not going to be sitting here licking my lips the entire time. If y'all have dry lips like me, Carmex is the only way to be. Focus. Thank you. All right. So now we figured out if we're staying at a hotel. We now arrive to our conference venue, our conference location. Get there early. If they say registration is at 7, you should definitely be there at 7 or even a tad earlier. You want to do this because you want to avoid the registration lines, number one. But number two, you want to have access to all the free things that they're going to be giving out that they have only but so much of a supply of. So, for example, the last conference I went to, I got there early and I was given a tote bag, right? Because I registered early, I went to sign in and I received that bag. However, folks who came at, maybe 2 hours later after registration started to open up, right? They did not get that tote bag, nor did they have access to the cool lanyards that you can keep, sort of as a keepsake. If you're not staying at a hotel because, say, the conference you're going to is a local one and you live in that same state or in that vicinity, great. Still, plan to get there early, which means plan enough time for traffic. Also, know whether or not the conference is serving breakfast with your registration, right? So many conferences, with registration included, also offer breakfast and lunch. So if this is one of those conferences, you're going to want to get there early enough to also have access to all the wonderful food and also have time to eat the food before typically the opening remarks and the keynote begins. Now we're at the conference, we registered, we ate breakfast. Now we want to know what we're doing for the day. Completely and wholeheartedly and totally recommend that you look at the conference itinerary and the scheduled speakers and the scheduled talks ahead of time so you know which ones you are attending and at what time. Many associations and organizations are doing this thing where they're creating apps that you can, you know, use to track your CEUs and to create your own, you know, conference schedule. I highly recommend that. Now, that's not to say you do that and then you can't change your mind, because you totally can change your mind once you get there. But to go to a conference without having to worry about which talk you're going to go to at what time, it does relieve a lot of stress that you don't realize you're carrying until, of course, you get there. My last tip upon our arrival category is to know the layout of the conference venue. Typically maps are included with a registration email. Take a look at those maps. Know where registration will be taking place. Know where, you know, certain talks and rooms are. That way you're not there just, you're going to be lost, don't get me wrong, because these things are typically huge. But to have an idea in order to ask a staff member, hey, where is, you know, the blah, blah, blah room, right? At least know where your talk that you're, you know, interested in attending is occurring. Parking is another one. If you are attending a local conference and you're driving yourself, know where to park your car. Know if it's going to cost you to park your car. At the hotel, you may have had valet, but if the conference is in the hotel building and it's in a close by, you know, center, you know, figure out how you're going to park your car, if you're using a parking garage, and how much that would be ahead of time. Also, if you're taking public transportation, figure all that out ahead of time as well. That is going to save you so much, because you're just wanting to go, get there, get signed in, and then start your day. As I mentioned, many organizations and associations are now using applications like phone or iPhone or Android applications to track CEUs and also to track conference information and, you know, things of that nature as well. If you are attending a conference that is using a personalized application that you have to download on your phone, do it. And do it a week or so before you're expected to attend the conference. That way you have time to play around with it. You have time to see, you know, if it's going to work and how you're going to navigate it while you're there. Some of those applications, as I mentioned, will hold information such as, you know, venue information, also like maps of the venue. That way it's easier to, you know, kind of find the rooms that you're going to, you know, attend talks in. Also, these apps will be used to scan in and out of CEUs, right? So not only are you going to download the application, but you're going to take an idea, or, you know, get an idea of how long your phone stays charged. Because if this is how the organization is tracking CEUs, you don't want to end up with a, you know, dead phone. So our next category is attire, clothing and dress. So I get this question a lot, like, what do I wear to a conference, right? My answer always is be comfortable. Me particularly as a woman, but me particularly as a Black woman, I have to be mindful of what I'm wearing, right? I'm already being stereotyped. I'm already entering spaces that were not intended for me. So you never know what is too much leg, or what is, you know, not like too much arm, too much shoulder, too much cleavage. So I technically like to be comfortable, yet play it safe. If you checked out my last conference video, I actually wore a dress and it was a really nice dress, and it was very, you know, it showed my shapes. That was great, but it was also long. So I went down a little past my knees. So it was safe and it was comfortable. Also know where you're traveling to, or what the weather is like in the city that the conference is in, because sometimes it's not the same as the weather in your hometown. So always consider that. I always recommend layers, because if you're hot, you take it off. If you're cold, you put it back on. Let's be real. These are rooms with lots of people in them. Air conditioned or not, it's going to get hot somewhere. And if you're like me and you anxious sweat, you're going to want to take something off, right? Right? That's what I tell people too. Like, dress how it's going to make you feel good. If you're presenting, you're going to have a lot of people looking at you. You might even be recorded. So taking that extra time to plan out your outfit, I do believe is also necessary. So you picked out your outfit, you're ready to go, but now you're asking, well, you know, Tara, what do I bring? So that brings us to our next category, which is, what do I bring? So on my list here, I have the first thing you will bring is a bag or backpack of some sort. No one is too cool to be carrying things around all day. You're going to need some sort of bag, right? In this bag, you're going to want to keep any technology devices that you have, be your smartphone, your iPad, your laptop. The last conference I went to, I ended up bringing all three. I also brought my camera, so I had a decent sized bag. You're going to want to bring any chargers that go along with this technology that you are bringing in this bag. You're going to want to have snacks. Snacks. I recommend something salty and something sweet along with, like, you know, a bottle of water or something. You're also going to want to bring anything you may need to avoid getting up during a talk or a presentation. Now, as a presenter, I will say this does not bother me if people have to excuse themselves quietly from my presentation. However, it is extremely distracting. By that, I just mean, like, I'm just watching you walk out the door and I'm seeing what you got on. I'm really liking your shoes. I'm liking how you did your hair, whatever it is. And now I'm not focused on my presentation. So you want to pack inside of your bag maybe something like tissues or hand sanitizer, something that is going to, again, prevent you from getting up during a talk or a presentation. Oh, you're going to want to bring some pens. Yeah. I mean, even though conference venues typically throw pens at you when you arrive, you definitely want to bring some of your own. And if you're like me, you have a special pen that you want to use regardless of how many you collect during the conference. You're going to want to bring business cards if you have them. I brought a lot of business cards, and thankfully I did, because I ran into a number of folks who wanted to connect and network afterward. So I was just able to pull out my business card, because in between the hustle and bustle of, you know, talks and presentations, everyone's just moving. You're going to the next thing. So a business card is super simple and easy for you to hand off, and then you connect later on. A portable phone charger is also what I have on my list. This definitely was a lifesaver for me, because again, a lot of these organizations and associations are using applications like phone apps to track CEUs, which means you don't want a dead phone, and chances are you're not around an outlet, you know, for a long period of time. So a portable charger is definitely something that I've invested in that I found super helpful. It typically clips on the back of your phone. It's magnetic and it charges the phone as long as the portable charger is also charged. I got one off Amazon. You could check out my packing video for NJABA, because that's where I share, you know, the brand of the charger and how to use it, etc. You're also going to want to bring small items that you may need typically throughout your normal day, such as gum, mints, chapstick. You're doing a lot of talking. Please don't be in anyone's face smelling like the lunch you just ate, like, or the everything bagel that you just had for breakfast. It's not even 8 a.m. and you're in somebody's face after just eating an everything bagel. Like, just bring some mints. So that brings us to our next conference attendance category tip, which is honestly to be kind. I hate that I have to have a whole segment on this, but it's absolutely necessary. You need to be kind when you're attending something like this. Presenters worked really hard on what they're presenting. Volunteers worked really hard, very long shifts, probably all day, right? So maybe you're cranky because you just sat in traffic, or you didn't get enough sleep, or, you know, you dropped your coffee on the way in. But you know what? Fix yourself and leave that at the door. You're entering a space of professionals. You're entering a space of individuals who share the same love of applied behavior analysis as you do, right? So there's no need to come in with an attitude. There's no need to come in with microaggressions. There's no need. Absolutely none. And you know what? If you do attend a conference and you decide that you're not going to be kind, please don't let me be around. So I also have some other miscellaneous tips that I think will fall into some of these categories later on. But the bathrooms, know where the bathrooms are in the establishment. Usually in huge conference centers, there are multiple. So that's a great thing. But if you're like me and you have to use the bathroom multiple times probably in an hour, right? Just know where the bathrooms are. And if you don't ask, there's typically staff all around who will guide you in the proper direction. And I know this is super cliche to say, but I feel like my last conference attendance tip is to actually have fun. Enjoy it. You spent a lot of money to be there. So if they're handing out free pens, free notepads, you're taking it and you're putting in that bag that I suggested you bring, you know, in the beginning of the video. You know, are you going with other people? Plan to have fun with those folks, right? The fun doesn't stop at the conference. Typical conferences end in the evening hours, probably no later than 7 p.m. Go out to dinner with folks that you just met. Go network, right? Go out and enjoy city life. That's what conferences are also about, exploring new cities. So yeah, bring a personal to-do list of things you want to see, visit, do, etc. Because you will have the time. Will you have the energy? I don't know. That's up for you, you know, to decide. But I definitely recommend exploring the city virtually, making a list of things that you would like to do personally with people that you've either met there, or that have attended the conference with you. All right, so I know that was a short video, but it's one that I feel like was necessary. If I missed anything, please drop it in the comments. I could also always make a part 2. I'm sure I will be making more of these as I attend more conferences, because what I'm learning is not all conferences are the same. So, yeah. So yeah. I hope you enjoyed those tips. I hope this eases some, you know, before conference anxiety or jitters that you're having. And yeah. Please remember to always, always, always be kind and to look up at the sky. Bye.